All right, welcome to the 7th episode of the
Let's go podcast.
You have to do that also, Tuvia.
I think I'm good. I saw Donnie, so once I didn't do it, I think I'm good.
We need somebody a little wacky to do that also. We're here with the great Tuvia Blisko, a longtime pitcher in the Hillcrest Softball League who always seems to manage to field a very competitive team. How are you doing today, Tuvia?
I'm good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Well, we're doing pretty good. How are you, Avi?
I'm doing good. I'm a little tired. I just had a nice heavy lunch, so I gotta keep the vibes high. Feeling a little knocked out from the food. I tried going on a quick walk. I don't think it did much. I don't know if you can tell from the Let's Go. It was a little bit of a weaker Let's Go today.
I noticed that it was a little weaker. I was looking for an assist from Tuvia, but unfortunately it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So, Tuvia, how long have you...
Dave,
Go ahead, Avi.
we can never ever start without thanking our league sponsor, Evo Care Group, who supported us from the beginning. Always will hopefully continue to support us and allow us to really be off to such an amazing start with all of our men's and boys leagues and girls leagues and hopefully a basketball league in the fall, which Tuvia might take part in, and hopefully a boys basketball league in the fall also. So we have a lot coming, and thank you, Evo, for everything.
So you said Tuvia might be involved, and it's interesting. Something about Tuvia, ever since I entered the Hillcrest Softball League maybe 5-6 years ago, something like that, you're a constant in these leagues. I was in the Sunday League. I joined Tuvia's there. He's always got a great team. Then I started playing in Ariel's Wednesday night league. Show up for a game. Tuvia's on the other side pitching. You seem to be a constant in these sports leagues. You're obviously a pretty competitive guy.
That's for sure. I definitely try to take advantage of what's out there, which I'm very happy. Avi is taking a lead here and really bringing all sports around. There used to be a flag football league. Also being played. I play one Sunday morning now, but yeah, I try to get out there and try to play wherever I could.
So how long have you been in the Hillcrest Softball League?
So I'm trying to think. I think if I remember correctly, I started subbing. I subbed a couple games in the spring of 2012.
Wow!
Oh, wow!
And I think I was part of my first team that summer of 2012.
What team was that? Do you remember who the captain was?
Who was the captain? I'm not sure. I think I started captaining in the summer of 2013. I'm not sure. There was one or 2 years I was with Mark Merrill, a really, really good pitcher. He was one of, honestly, the better pitchers. It was him and Yossi Kaufman. Yossi Kaufman used to be
Sure.
commissioner pre Avi and Shmuel. So those were really the two top pitchers in the league. So I was on his team. I'm not sure if it was that year, the year after. Going back a little time at this point. But it definitely started around then.
So you grabbed the reins as captain pretty quickly.
So I'd say after. So Merrill was on another team, another legendary Queens team in this league. I'm sure Ariel and Yossi will tell you about the Queens Kings.
Where all these Queens teams go? Do they all get old and stop playing softball? Like I always hear about all these legendary Queens teams.
So basically, a lot of them either got old. Like there used to be, like growing up, there was a ton of pickup games, ton of baseball going around. Like baseball and softball was like the Queen's sport. Like I went to DRS, and I was made fun of. Like I was here to play like softball and baseball. Like that was it. And yeah, a lot of guys, like I know Merrill moved to Israel, a few other guys moved to Israel, a few guys moved to Teaneck. But yeah, a bunch of guys just got old and just stopped playing. So yeah, even now, this team now is like, I guess the fourth iteration of that team. We'll sort of keep on restocking, I guess.
Okay, so 2012, 2013, is this when you're back from Israel, or what?
This was my junior year of YU.
Junior year of YU, okay. So you start playing in the Hillcrest Softball League, and then you also joined the Wednesday League, the Monday League.
The Wednesday League. Yeah, I was in a few of them. Was there? When did I join those? Probably around the same time.
Uh-huh.
How long was Monday and Wednesday? How long were those leagues going for? A long time, just as long as Sunday morning.
For a little while. I'm not sure when they started. Um, I know I started playing with Shirley Spiegel. Um, he was a pitcher in the A League in the Monday Night League, so we had a team a few years. Um, but I'm not sure how it's probably around the same time. I don't know beforehand how long ago it was.
Okay. So something I've always been impressed by is your ability to basically always field a competitive team, no matter what league you're in, what the situation is. The guys leave your team, you bring on new guys. So I messaged my friend Avi Nenner last night. I said we're interviewing you, and he's always got such top tier talent, and he's like, well, he's such a nice guy. Everybody wants to play for him.
Except for Avi, he ditched us this year.
He's like, I was only with him for 1 year.
Obviously, I love Tuvia, but you can't give up a chance to play with Lord Diamondstein. That would be,
you're not a king, Tuvia. You're a nice guy, but you're not a king. Like
they call him Lord apparently. Also, it's Lord.
They call him what?
Lord. Apparently, Lord is the nickname they give.
Lord, Tuvia? Do you have any nicknames like that?
Not that I know of. Maybe we could work on some of those. I don't have the stuff like they do, so like I'm gonna have to figure something out. But
so why do you think you're able to build such good teams year after year and have such a loyal following?
It's a great question. I think I take it seriously and I try to be on top of it. We definitely have a great core group of guys. Definitely there are guys that used to sub that as they got older and people left the team, we were able to just bring them in full time seamlessly. Um, and like we're out there to have fun. Like we try to take it seriously. Like I know personally myself, I used to be a little bit more of a hothead when I was pitching. Definitely calmed down a little bit over there. So I guess it made
So you weren't always a nice guy.
no, not at all. So it just made it simpler, and I guess a bunch of us like we know each other. We're around each other during the year, so it just made it easier and simpler to bring things together. So it's definitely like as we get older and things come up, it definitely gets tougher in terms of fielding that team every week. As you guys both know, I've reached out for subs multiple times this year. I think we have 15 guys that are eligible for playoffs this year.
It's crazy how many people you have. I'm looking at your stats. You've had over 25 people play for your team this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think we've had a full roster for 2 games. Like our like the 10 guys that were supposed to be our guys. So hopefully, like I have assurances for everyone for the playoffs that they'll be here. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll get to the playoffs in a minute. I have some important questions about that, but obviously something, Tuvia's talking about guys getting older, being harder to play, and then also some of these Queens guys aging out. Something very interesting which me and Avi are thinking about is, I don't think I've ever discussed this with you that much, Avi. I know you want to start like a high school softball thing, which doesn't exist in Queens as far as I know, outside of a couple of yeshivas maybe. But it also sort of gives you a pipeline to feed into the adult league because the people really have time to play 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then a lot of guys start getting married or just getting busy with work. You have these accountants that aren't available Sundays in April kind of thing or whatever it might be. So it would also kind of create young talent. I think one of the amazing things about a guy like Shmuel Rada or even Ariel Cohen, he's able to he finds high schoolers to fill out his rosters. There's actually a rumor that Rada only teaches in high schools in order to recruit talent for his softball teams.
Yeah, listen, Shmuel is, I don't know where he pulls people out of. Like, I don't. I think it was a few weeks ago I needed help getting a couple of guys, and he just, like, had 17 people message within, like, literally 30 seconds of the conversation. Like, even from playing on the Black Sox, like, I don't think there was ever a worry or concern we're not going to have 10 guys because of the lists and lists of people that he has. Although I do have to take a little bit of credit because a lot of his core lists now really came like sourced from like what Mo Feintuch, like, and then I brought him in, and then Shirley Friedman and all these guys, friends with guys. But Rid is very good at keeping up with everybody and like keeping them on his like track. And
Well, I think you help bring the Black Sox to a new talent level. Black Sox, but Reid is also good about putting aside his ego or anything like that and saying he wants to win, he wants to bring in the best guys, and
yeah,
he was happy to kind of defer to you.
yeah,
Uh, during those years, now obviously the Black Sox split into an A League team and a B League. We don't use those words. The Olive share and the Bays share. So
tighten the
Reid is,
legacy.
yeah. So Tuvia, I'm looking at your team stats. So Menachem Greenberg, he just keeps on keeping on.
Yeah, he's an all-star. He's one of the best players in the league. Really one of the nicest guys. I'm sure you guys both know. Easiest guy to play with. Yeah, he's just great. Like nothing else to say. I think probably the easiest power out of anyone in the league. Like just no one sees it coming. Like not the biggest guy, and just the ball just carries. It's amazing to watch.
What's crazy to me, Tuvia, is that as a Black Sox player, we be beaten by Greenberg 2 years in a row in the playoffs with a ball over the outfielder's head. And I'm like, how are we making the same mistake in the playoffs 1 year to the date where we did the same freaking thing? I'd rather give up an inside the park home run because the outfield is so deep than get beat over the heads again. It's like the most frustrating thing, but you just get fooled by how, I don't know, unimposing he looks.
Yeah, and it's really remarkable because in the field also he's amazing. Yeah, he's true. I think probably one of the top 5 players in the league.
It's a combination of his size and his niceness. Between his size and how nice he is, he's the most soft-spoken guy in the world, sweetest guy in the world. You can never, you never underestimate anybody. The life lessons. The guy gets up there. The guy hits the ball harder than anybody else and further than anybody else. It's really impressive.
Who are the other big hitters on the Blue Wahoos this year in general?
So this year it's a little tougher just because we haven't had our full team. But I guess our second biggest player definitely has to be Gavi Dector.
Gavi's a great player.
Really, really a great player.
I'll tell you a little
and-
story. I'll tell you a little story about Gavi. So last night, I was playing Ash in the Monday Night League. I can never pitch against Ash's team. I probably have an average ERA of maybe 12 or 13 against that team. It's pretty crazy. I only let up 7 runs last night, so that was a win for me. But Gavi is the third baseman for Ash's team Monday nights, correct?
Correct.
So Gavi has phenomenal power to left field. And what I personally love doing as a pitcher is somebody who I know, if I can get somebody to hit it in one direction every single time, I'll do it. I don't care how hard they'll hit it. So I literally shifted my whole field to left. I had 3 guys on the left side of the infield. I had 3 guys on the left side of the outfield. I pitched him every single time, yet he still managed to hit it so hard to left field that it landed in between 7 guys. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. Like we have Menachem Greenberg out there, Shirley Freeman out there, Ehrlich out there, Sabo, Zinn, and Rokach all on the left side of the infield. And he hit it to left field like I wanted, but he hit it so hard that I found the spot in left field. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah,
Perhaps. What are you going to try to do next time, Avi?
I'll do the same thing. No, Ash was making fun of me. I was screaming to the outfield because he kept on. I think there was one at bat where he had 7 fouls in a row, and I kept on. I think he got out that at bat. He flew out the left, so I kept on screaming, "Let him do it! Let him do it! Let him do it!" And then the next at bat when he got the single, Ash screamed. Ash screamed right back, like, "Keep on letting him do it! Keep on letting him do it!" I would do the same thing. Guys like him, they're such good hitters that if I know I can automatically cut off 70% of the field and make him go to left field, I'll do it every time. But he just hit the ball so hard, it fell. And if I pitch it over the middle, these guys are so talented. Like, I pitch it as fast as I want and I miss my spot, he'll crush it. So I'd rather just throw it softer, throw it in, and make him basically cut off 70% of the field and only leave a little bit open and make him get a hit, which he did very impressively.
So he beat you with your best strategy, which is I guess kind of what you want to do as a player.
Yeah, because if a hitter tries going to right field on an inside pitch like that, let him do it. Most likely he'll pop up or ground out. If he wants to get hit that way, call it kavod. But he didn't. He didn't fall for the mind trap. He's like, the heck with that. I can hit bullets to left. I'll hit bullets to left, and his bullet dropped in. It's very impressive.
Tuvia, as a pitcher, who do you hate to see on anybody in the league? Who do you hate to see in the batter's box? Other than Avi Edelman and myself.
Definitely Glenn's definitely up there. Like I don't know how people get him out. Like we play him deep
Who?
over the
Glenn
head,
Zuckerman.
or if we go under, come in a little bit. Like it doesn't make a difference where you play your guys, where you position your guys. He's getting a hit. Like I think we played him a doubleheader this year. I think combined I got him out maybe once, maybe twice over to 2 games.
He finished his season hitting like 725 or something, and like there's got to be some theory of like a statistical maximum batting average you can have, just because it's impossible to bat 1,000. Something's going to happen. You're going to hit the ball right at a fielder, and Moshe Zin's going to make a diving stop on a ball up the middle. Like, what's the like maximum batting average you could reasonably have? I can't imagine it's that much higher than 725.
Yeah, it's insane this year. Like you couldn't get him out this year.
So how do you try to pitch to Glenn?
I try not to. I try. No, but it's serious. Like as you guys know, I don't have the best stuff per se, but I try to hit the corners as much as possible, and then just rely on my field. My field's really been. They're really great fielders. I think that's what we pride ourselves on more than anything else. Like we're a very smart team. We know what we're doing in the field, and we like for instance this year we have 5 shortstops on our team. Like that their actual position shortstop, and they're just playing, I believe, 3 in the infield and 2 playing the outfield. Just they're very athletic guys. They're able to cover ground and just hope for the best at that point with guys like that. Like there are certain guys you could definitely try to pinpoint spots and go up, go down, but with someone like Glenn, where no matter where you pitch, he's going to hit. It's just a matter of hoping you make the play.
So, something interesting you mentioned about having good fielding. I've been thinking about doing these interviews, thinking about teams that have cultures. Like the Robins clearly have a culture. That Ariel's built something over many years. The Bombers, I don't know exactly who the builders are there, but they certainly have a certain kind of culture. I would say the Blue Wahoos also have a culture surrounding their team at this point. You guys got your own jerseys last year, seem to generally have the same guys year in, year out. Does that make sense to you? Do you think there's a culture particular to your team?
For sure. Like, look, we know, like coming in, like we know, like we want to be able to play versus the best. We want to be able to play versus the Bombers, versus Avi's team, versus Ash's team, and we want to play well. And we know going in, the best way to do it is to make sure we field well, and to even at the plate. Like we're not like we have a couple guys like Menachem Gabi who could just hit homers really whenever they want, seemingly. But we're more about line drive hitting team. We go base to base. We're aggressive on the bases, like top of the line, whether it be Morty Abiton, my brother, just try to fly around the bases and try to force the other team to make those plays that, in generally softball, leads to a lot of mistakes and just leads to more runs.
Yeah, so you raise a very interesting point. You said you want to be able to play with the Bombers. So a couple of thoughts. Number one, we had a very, for us, I don't know if you heard, Sunday the King Ventures were not able to field a full team.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, after all that build-up, it's very, very disappointing.
So, something I was thinking about was the Bombers. One of the things that makes them a very special bunch is their level of focus and intensity. And I think, my opinion, look, I don't know the King Ventures squad so well. I don't know exactly the internal, dynamics, but the level of focus that we want to win, we want to beat you. We're going to be at the game 20 minutes early, hitting ground balls to each other, hitting line drives to each other, pitching, etc. There's a level of focus and intensity besides their talent level that I think gives them a real edge. And my question for you, Tuvia, is can anybody beat the Bombers in the playoffs this year, including the Blue Wahoos and Switch On?
I would hope so. It's definitely, look, we have to play a perfect game. But like no one's on people. It's softball. It's not. It's a game of averages. So I would hope so. Like we've done it in the past. They're definitely a very good team. There's really no weak spots in the lineup or in the field. But we take the field with them and hope for the best.
Toby, let me ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Now I don't know what direction. I don't know what direction you were going in, Dave. I don't know if you.
I'll come back to it, Dorian.
Okay, I'm just on top of my mind. So you guys had a game this past week against the Gold Glovers, which we could get into. My question to you is right now it's looking like your playoff matchup will be versus those Gold Glovers. Tell me what you think you guys need to do to beat them, and especially after playing them this past week. What do you think you guys need to do to be able to beat them and advance to the semis and have an opportunity to play either King Ventures and Menachem Diamondstein or the Bombers and Steve Holland.
One sec, I think playing them in the rain, that seems to be the Gold Glovers' kryptonite, from what I understand.
Oh yeah,
Right.
It could be. No, they
I
definitely.
may or may not have been hinting at that when I asked the question.
So maybe that's what you need to do. Get some rain on Sunday. No, but they're definitely a good team. We happen to have, like, when we have our full lineup and our full squad. I'm confident we could go up against anyone. Not take anything away from any other team, but like we just need to play what's in our game. Like, go no. Don't swing for fences. Like, sometimes we'll get swing happy and start popping stuff up. But when we're doing our thing, like, I'm confident we could beat anyone. Like, I don't know what the name of their pitcher is, but he's got good stuff. They were solid in the field.
Joel Abramson is their pitcher. He has some good speed. Yeah.
He was solid. We got him. There were a couple of things we got him put I think a 6th spot and a 7th spot. But he had the stuff there. So as long as we, like, keep our swings within ourselves, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Speaking of, you guys could beat anybody. So I was looking on the when we were building the Hillcrest Softball League website. We put historical champions on there, and I was looking back. There's one year out of, like, the last 6 years that the Bombers didn't win the spring championship. And it was really the Blue Wahoos championship, not the Bad Jews Bears championship, because the Blue Wahoos knocked off the Bombers. And as far as I can tell, that was the real championship.
I hear that. We definitely went into that game thinking that, like, once we if we could beat the Bombers, we definitely have a good shot. Like, not to take away from Avi Nenner's team. They're also a very, very good team. But yeah, we thought we had. We started that game. I think we were up 3-0, 4-0 in the first inning, and we had the bases loaded. And there was a very controversial call.
Who made that call, Tuvia?
That was our favorite Dom, and he knows it. I still got him all the time about it. But yeah, then we just lost our composure in the championship game after that. And it was just.
Oh, you lost your composure after that call. Do you remember the final score?
I think it was maybe 7-5 or 8-5, something like that. We just melted down. Like, we were making uncharacteristic plays in the field. We were swinging at pitches that should never even take our bats off. Like, it was just bad.
Do you remember the game versus the Bombers? Let's think about happier times.
I'm trying to think. We're going back 3-4 years ago already.
Who pitched for the Bombers that game? Did Steve Pollen pitch or did Koenig pitch? Do you remember?
Pollen pitch. I remember that. I remember the last stat was a line drive to Gavi at shortstop. Other than that, I don't know if I remember much. I remember it being at the high school. It was like the first year we had the high school at the field, which I think definitely gave us an advantage, being able to play our guys a little deeper against a team like the Bombers. Other than that,
You know what? I just looked it up. You know what the final score was of that game?
The Bombers game against the Blue Wahoos?
I found it on the old website. Yeah, Ariel's got the historical scores on there. You want to guess, Tuvia?
I'd say, what, 5-4 maybe?
Believe it or not, it's 9-5.
Oh, really?
You beat down the Bombers. That's how I'm going to put in the podcast. Listen to how Tuvia and the Blue Wahoos.
I need to give them bulletin board material if we play them.
The last thing you need to give them is
Tuvia faces the Bombers in the semifinals. He doesn't want to add more fuel to the fire.
Exactly.
He beat down of the Bombers on June 20th, 2021. That's pretty. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was laughing. That's fine.
Yeah. And then like you said, you lost to the Bad Jews Bears 8-5 in the championship, which was on the 4th of July in 2021.
Yeah. It's a late championship.
Yeah, our game got rained out a couple of times. We ended up playing in Northwood Mare middle of the week.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen this year. This year we're gonna be done by the 16th or 23rd or latest. Hopefully the 9th even, actually.
Sounds good to me.
So Tuvia, how has your experience in the revamped HSL been so far?
It's great. Honestly, I think you guys are doing a great job. I definitely had my issues in the past. Like you guys, Ariel and Rada, definitely brought up a lot of things in the past. So I think you guys are really doing a great job. Yeah, I really.
You know, one of the ways I figured out that you were such a competitive guy is I was a captain in the captain's chat like last year or 2 years, and Ariel posted the playoff scenarios, which was like this really mathematical thing that's beyond me. and there were like 18 playoff scenarios or something. And then he like sent another message an hour later, like, "Thank you to Tuvia Blisko for pointing out to me there's actually like a 19th playoff scenario." And I was like, "Wow, if he missed something, like that's pretty good."
Yeah, I'm a little competitive, that's for sure.
So, what areas of growth and improvement do you suggest for the HSL?
HSL? No, I think you're just gonna keep growing, keep going at it, keep bringing teams in, um, like keep growing both leagues. I would say both. I think bringing the A and the B league was really great. Like I know we're in the A league, and like I think we're competitive within it. Um, but I think the better teams you could bring into that type of league, I think is great. I think there are some other leagues, I know about that. Like the A league stays at 4 or 6 teams, and it's really you're just playing the same guys every other week, and it's great. You're playing softball, no issue, but it sort of gets static. So the more talent you can bring in,
Something
the
I've
more
figured out through Yeah, something I've figured out through doing these interviews and stuff is, and I mentioned the intensity and focus of the Bombers. I'm starting to realize that it's not about the amount of talent necessarily. It's to get a group of guys to stick together long enough and play enough together to sort of get to a certain level of play. I think is very challenging because the Bombers are the Bombers not just because of the talent level, but they know each other. They know how to move for different players. There's probably and your team also. There's so much knowledge that comes with playing together for a long time. I think that you can't just that doesn't just grow overnight.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think that I think that's one of the reasons it's hard to put together a league kind of teams. But Avi's done a great job of it.
It's
No,
only
for
going to
sure.
get better.
But
We're
you
only
need
going
to
to grow.
start somewhere, so you might as well try.
Yeah,
There'll definitely be like I know when we started the first couple of years, I think like 2013, 2014, we were terrible. I think we won like 3 or 4 games a year, and then I think between 2015 and 2017, like the spring we were pretty good, but the summer I think which in the summer league was still solid then. 2015, 2017, I think we either won or lost. We won 2, I think. Should have won 3, but I think won 2 championships. Maybe I think lost the third. But we had a nice little run going there. So it'll take a couple years, but yeah, as long as you bring them in, they'll be fun.
all right. We have just a couple minutes left. Tuvia, I don't know if you know this. Your mother was my third grade elementary school teacher at Tiffin.
Really? Where is this? In Tres
It's
Moshe?
First Moshe, yeah.
Oh wow. When did you go? Because I went there also, and then she left, so she wouldn't have me as as a student. She switched to second grade as opposed to third grade.
Where did she? Oh, she. Does she still teach at TIFMO?
No, she's a public school teacher now.
Oh, smart, smart, smart move. Yeah, I had her in. I'm 37, and so I had her when I was about 8 years old, I guess. So around 1995,
Oh wow.
something like that. So it's kind of funny because you like. I don't know if we had a barbecue. I think we might have. I saw you a couple of times. I knew you were her son, and I'd see you over the years. And in my mind, you're always Mrs. Blisko's son.
I hear that. I'll take that.
You'll take that. And then I saw you in the softball leagues, but I always thought it'd be weird if I came over to you before a game and said, "Hey, your mother was my teacher 25 years
It's
ago."
better on podcast. I hear that.
Yeah, Dave, you're waiting for years and years until we took over the HSL to bring it up on the seventh episode of the HSL podcast. It all culminated here on the 7th episode of the HSL podcast.
In fact, I have a bone to pick with her after all these years. I'm just kidding. So, like myself, you're a Kew Garden Hills boy, right?
Born and bred.
So you're about the 5th Queens person we've had on the podcast. Are you a Mets fan or Yankees fan?
I am a Met fan. I'm a diehard Met fan.
The first one.
Yeah, I've actually walked to the stadium a few times. It's not really such a bad walk. About I don't know 40-minute walk. I've done that trek a few times. Had season tickets for a little while, but yeah, I'm a huge Met fan.
Finally, we had one because we had Steve Pollen, Queens boy, who's a Yankee fan. Sterling Friedman, Queens boy, is a Yankee fan. Shlomo Levinger, Queens boy, is a Yankee fan. I guess you're the 4th.
Yeah.
Huge Met fan.
So what do you think of their chances for this year?
Not good. They're terrible.
The Mets record's inflated. They're very inflated, the record right now. They're
They almost beat the Phillies last night. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, like, I'm sort of happy I have the Knicks and Rangers to
Well, the Knicks and
distract me right
Rangers. The problem with the Knicks and Rangers is the Knicks and Rangers tend to only win when they both win, and when they both lose, they both lose. It's very
It's
hard
true.
for them both to win to get both to. Very hard for any of them to build comp. It's just right when you think that you're finally gonna have something to cheer for, deep into the playoffs, and they're cruising to the semifinals, they just get blown out of the water. Like you saw the Ranger game yesterday. Like I pulled up to North Woodmere Park. It was like maybe 8:50. I was getting out of my car. Rangers are up 1-0. I walk out of my car to the field, or maybe it was like no, sorry, maybe it was. I was walking from North Woodmere 1 to North Woodmere 2 because I came early. I watched the first game. I was walking North Woodmere 2 for my game, and like from the walk from 1 to 2, they went up 1-0 to down 4-1 in like 8 minutes. It was pretty
That's terrible.
It was pretty incredible.
All right, well, we gotta wrap up here. Any final thoughts, Tuvia or Avi?
Toby, got anything?
I'm good. I can't wait for the playoffs and can't wait to see this league grow.
Yeah, it's gonna.
All right.
We're gonna continue to we love improving, getting better, getting bigger. Anyone watching this who wants to reach out for any of our upcoming leagues, our men's basketball league in the fall, we have our summer softball league. That's registration is actually closing in a couple of weeks. Trying to get Tuvia here to bring a team. We'll have 8 teams now, which is pretty unbelievable. We had 4 teams, where the league had 4 teams last year. So if we get an 8th team, it's already double. And reach out. Don't be a stranger. And always looking to get better and stronger here at the HSL.
Alrighty.
All right.
Take care,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.